Hi, this is Derek. I have a review for today. It's a review of a very good movie, actually, in my opinion, so I don't want to bury the lead there. But it's one with a curious release. As far as I know, it is a 2014 movie. However, it has seen its release in Asian markets in 2013. So it was released there first, I guess mostly because it is from Korean director joon-ho, who directed the excellent The Host from a few years ago, which was an excellent monster movie. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. But it's really just kind of gotten its play in North America fairly, I would suppose, recently, maybe within the last few months. It has seen limited release in North America, but where it's really finding its life, and where a lot of people are seeing it, is like on demand, which is kind of interesting, considering the climate right now of home video viewing. So it's an on-demand world. It really is. So you name it, you can see it on Amazon Instant. You can see it on iTunes, on the PlayStation Store, or what have you. But that's where it is right now. That's its life right now, which is kind of interesting. So I don't think it has seen Blu-ray and DVD just yet. So it's kind of making its way there soon. But still, most North American audiences, I think, are seeing it on demand, which is, I think, interesting. But it is a good movie. It's just kind of a curious release. So this movie, I mean, obviously with its Korean director, it does have kind of an Asian sensibility to it, but of course with primarily American cast. Like obviously Chris Evans, Captain America, is the lead role, playing what's his name. Curtis is the main character. I had to think about that one for a second. And you got John Hurt in the role, which I guess he's English, isn't he? And Tilda Swinton, also English. So I don't know. It's a multicultural cast, which is kind of cool too. Such as this train in this movie, and basically, I mean, you probably know the plot of the movie. So I mean, this will have spoilers. This review, all of humanity is frozen over. All of the remaining life on Earth remains in this train, which has infinite power. It can keep going, seemingly aimlessly, and it's segmented into class systems. So, kind of what they're going at there is kind of this allegory, of course, of class, and how the lower classes are treated. Of course, the lowest of the low classes are in the bottom, or in the back of the train, obviously. The highest class is in the front. Back never sees the front. Back should know their place. That's basically the premise of the movie, which is kind of interesting. I mean, something that Bong has done with this film, and something you kind of notice with current movies, is that kind of the dystopian future. It has been like hijacked from young adult fiction, almost. Like you have this stuff like The Hunger Games that takes stuff that you could see in dystopic whatever works, but makes it kind of fit its own agenda, which is just entertaining and good, but nothing particularly thought provoking or profound, I guess you could say. So I think this movie is its way, kind of taking back the dystopia and turning it into something that is an entertaining movie, that's very action packed. Like there's a lot of good action scenes in this movie, lots of like fights and brawls, which is impressive when you think about it, considering it is confined to this train, right? So that's interesting, um, and it makes it something a little bit more, I think. So obviously it's pretty on the nose, which with its symbolism, like the Tilda Swinton character is kind of like uh, sort of like middleman of the representative ambassador of the higher class. Kind of makes this little speech and is like, you should know your place, a shoe does not go on the head, or whatever the hell she's talking about. She's great, by the way. Oh my god, this lady, she can do no harm as an actress. She goes brilliantly over the top in this movie, which I really liked. And yeah, it's just a lot of stuff like that. So you get what they're kind of going for, but kind of the plot that drives the movie is that the Curtis character, Chris Evans, sort of plans a coup d'etat, basically, wanting to overthrow the higher class. They're sick of the higher class calling the shots and being assholes about it. Really, I mean, you'd think with the Earth in the condition that it's in, you'd think they'd be nicer to each other. But we find out that there are certain reasons behind why they're acting this way, almost like a necessary evil that they have to enforce, I guess. Which, I mean, you could relate to real life too, in a way. How much do we want to see of the inner workings of the train, so to speak? So I think all that stuff's pretty interesting, if not really in your face. So this is not a subtle movie. This is not going to be the kind of movie where you think, oh, was that the message? Or maybe you will. I don't know. Like it's enough to be interpreted, but it's kind of just right out there, waiting for you to grasp it, sort of. So I thought, though it isn't the most subtle thing you've ever seen, and obviously we've seen plenty of dystopia class struggles before. I think it does it well, and I think a director like Joon-ho is he does bring his flavor to it, and it's an extremely entertaining movie, and it always keeps you guessing. I found they're able to keep it very suspenseful, and you kind of think, okay, so obviously it's going to go this way, this way, this way. Not really. There are enough twists and turns in the plot. Like you'd think, obviously you have the Chris Evans character, you have the mentor in John Hurt, who of course is no stranger to dystopia as well, having been in 1984 one of the key dystopia tales, and his kind of second in command, Jamie Bell. And you kind of think it's going to go a certain way, and they have a really great character who was also in The Host. I can't remember the actor's name, but he was really great, kind of like a drug addict kind of thing. And they have this crazy drug, and they have this crazy protein bar that it looks disgusting, but they eat it just for sustenance and sustenance only. So there's all that kind of cool future stuff, but there's just things that are so unpredictable in this movie and so thrilling in this movie. So it does become just on this, little train here, or maybe it's a big train. I guess it's a big train. It's a fairly big train. I forget how many people are on it, but it becomes this very interesting journey, which the kind of the driving force behind it, the Curtis character, saying screw being in your place. Screw your own predestiny. I'm going to make my own destiny, which is kind of what he does. But does he? That's kind of the thing. So, I mean, it all kind of leads up to the ending scenes with the mechanic of the train, or not the mechanic, but the designer of the train, the architect, so to speak, of the train, where it's kind of like his like Heart of Darkness moment, or even like his like architect in the Matrix moment, but a lot less big words like ergo and whatever else. So he kind of has this head-to-head, just it's a conversation. It's not an action scene. There are plenty of action scenes in the movie, but I think one of the most engaging scenes is when the Curtis character does kind of confront what has been before him this whole time. How much is his own doing? How much is his predestiny? So it's his struggle to kind of think, well, do I keep with the way things are going? Do we keep the train in motion? Is this how life is meant to be? And it's I don't know. It's as deep as you want it to be, I guess. But while it is kind of right up there for you, it's not very subtle. It's very good, and it's still, I think it is. Yeah, it's open for a fair amount of interpretation. I would say, especially when you think about the character's decision and you think about the ending. I won't give away the ending entirely, but it does arrive at some interesting twists in that. And so, in this movie, no character is safe. There are a lot of very shocking moments and characters who bite the dust, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's highly entertaining. It's a very interesting way of presenting this kind of plot. Like, again, we've seen this kind of stuff before, but it is an interesting concept. All life is on this train. Everything's cold outside. So I think it's a good movie to watch during winter, maybe, which is probably when we'll find the DVD being released. But until now, I would say, yeah, check it out on demand, Amazon, iTunes, PlayStation Store, Video Now, or whatever the hell, any on-demand service, you'll be able to find it. And that is kind of an interesting thing, that we live in this kind of day and age where a movie like this can have its life there, just waiting in the stream for you to click on it, basically. So I mean, what a movie to kind of exemplify that too. And I do think it is one of the stronger movies of this year. I think it is a very, very engrossing and very thrilling and a very well-made movie with a very particular style. From its director, and it kind of proves that he has his own personal stamp on cinema. And I think this is his first American film, so I think he definitely proves his worth to American audiences who are seeing it on demand for the first time. And I think it's just an excellent film. I would rate Snowpiercer 3.5 stars out of 4. Again, very entertaining, very thrilling, some great action scenes, and great acting from all the actors involved. And I think it will find its audience even further when more people discover it on video and DVD and Blu-ray. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie. Not too in depth. I'd like to take a look at it again. I've only seen it the one time, so maybe there will be times, when I get an opportunity to see it again. I think I will end up buying it when it does come to Blu-ray. Just to go over it again, and kind of see things maybe I've missed, little hints, because it seems like one of those kinds of movies where you could watch it over and pick up on things. So, yeah, I really liked it, highly recommend it, and I think it is definitely, while it uses some ideas that we've seen before, it is a unique film, so I very much enjoyed it. And that'll be my review, so maybe I'll go back to it and talk about it a little bit more, but first impression, I really like it. So, thanks for watching, as always. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you later.